Hi guys, what's up? It's Olga here, and today I have for you video that I decided to use some stuff that were laying in my stash for a really long time. One of them is this penny black stamp set, because there is a rule: if you don't use it, it have to go, and I really didn't want this one to go. So I thought that I will record the video. I also put my hands on my favorite watercolor paper. It's ham hule hot pressed, and I'm stamping my animals, and you can see me stamping first on really thin copy paper, and I will create mask from this copy paper. And the way that I'm doing the masks and the idea for one layer cards, because today we are doing one layer cards, I got from Lavetola. I will link her channel down below. I love her videos. Those are more story time videos and crafting videos, and I just love her arts, and I really enjoy her videos, so maybe you will enjoy them too, and we can, bond around that. So this tip is also hair tip. We are creating masks with Tambo mono adhesive. When it's dry, you can stick it in and stick it out like a post-it tape. So I use really thin paper because I will do some distressed ink blending, and yeah, but so far it's great. The whole idea worked great, and I'm so happy with myself. I'm putting those masks on, and I didn't thought that the ink on my paper have to be dry, don't be impatient. So when I started blending around hedgehogs, they turned gray. And I also give the first try to my Zig color markers, because I have quite nice collection already. Every time when I'm in my craft store, I'm buying one marker, so I have around 10 right now. And if I combine them with my distress color markers, I have really nice collection of watercolor markers to use in my artwork. Distress markers I have for quite some time. I bought them on some kind of super sale, and you can see that my ink got really muddy around the hedgehogs. So to fix that, I used the darker shade. My initial idea was to put a little bit of distress oxide refill in the dried pad, so that gives you like tiny oxide, but it's one-time use. Don't load it, because it will not hold in the small ink pad. It separates and it doesn't look nice. It just quick use. Like right now, I just put 2 drops, smudge them in the pad, pick the color up with the brush, and it works like a big pad. But if you will try to stamp with them, that will not work so well, unfortunately. They don't want to stay in the small ink pad like they are staying nicely in the big one. So for coloring, I decided to do watercoloring. I took my markers, and I have to warn you that distress markers, they will not work perfectly on each paper, because Zig markers, they're working on each paper. Any watercolor paper, you just put them in, and when you're blending them with water or with each other, they work perfectly. Distress markers, I have been struggling for a really long time, because if you don't work really fast with them, if you don't activate them quite fast, they have tendency to be blotchy. But I still have like 6 colors of them, so I will use them until they dried out, and I'm trying to switch for Zig markers, and I really like how they look. I really enjoyed the process. And actually the working with them is so easy. You just put your color, I put mine just against the line, just a tiny bit, and then I blend it with the wet brush. And if you don't use too much water, no bleeding, no issues, just perfect coloring medium. So I really enjoyed that. But I don't have brick colors, so with hedgehogs, and yeah, they are really unfortunate today. I mean, all my cards have some small flops again, but I'm really happy with the final result. I was able to fix everything, but the hedgehogs, oh my god, that's the hard word. I didn't have the brick color, so I tried to mix my reds and yellows, and it didn't work so well. So I have to go over with pencils, because pencils are my savior and they will fix everything. They are not super opaque, but they give you the option of changing colors, of fixing your shading and little boo-boos. And I just like how crayons look like. So if I fixed one card with the crayons, they have to end up on all of them, because when we are making set, they have to be matchy-matchy. The same thing, like everything have to be framed, and each one of my cards have to have some kind of stroke around it, because otherwise it just makes me anxious. So I started with white, and then I'm moving to my darker colors, and I'm not putting any pressure at all. I'm just using really sharp crayon, and I'm just focusing on laying this pigment really evenly with really soft layer, because then you get perfect blended look, and you can enhance your shadowing and make everything nice and smooth. And I just like the look of the crayon. They are vibrant, but you can get this soft effect. You can imitate the fur, and if you play with them enough, they are so easy to shade, even on those tiny characters, because those mice are so tiny. And you can cover up wherever boo-boos you have, because they are not opaque with 1, 2, or 3 layers. But if you build up the pigment, you can change the shades that are underneath, because they are not opaque, but a little bit yes. That's why I have to fix all the lines, because it annoys me that they do all the lines. They don't cover my stamping completely, but they make my black stamping looks like it's gray stamping, and I want my lines to be black. I really like the contrast between the colorful characters and the black lines, so I have to fix them with the pen after crayons, and it's the only downside of the crayon for me. I try a lot of mediums, and crayons by far are the one that I feel the most comfortable with. My favorite go-to technique is using some alcohol markers and then go with crayon on top. But I'm trying to experiment. I'm trying to use paints and different stuff and different kind of crayons, different brands, because right now I really want to find like the perfect solution for me, myself and I. And you can be sure that I will share all my experiences here. I already planned for next week a few coloring videos, so if you are into cute stamps, be sure to jump in for the next week, and we will have like big giveaway coming up with the next week's series, so stay tuned. Oh, and I'm advertising this Friday. I'm doing holidays, like Christmas in July on Snip Out Facebook. I will leave a link down below so you can jump in and chit chat a little bit. And I will try to put the stream later on YouTube, but we will see how it goes. Anyway, I'm adding a little bit green in the grass, and I wanted just ever so slightly a line of color to not get too much contrast between, soft sky and harsh grass. So I'm smudging and blending it with my adhesive eraser. It's really good smudger, and you can see me fixing my lines with the black pen. Adding a little bit of green to the stem, and my card is almost done. But I use Wing of Stella and I squeeze my barrel, so here the gold shimmer just floated my card. I picked it up as soon as I noticed how much overflow I got, but it was too late, and the flower petals are all gold, as you can see on the close-up. I put a little bit of Mod Podge epoxy to have nice and shiny center of my flower, and nougat drops all around. With the hedgehogs, you could see I have two flops. One was smudging the ink, so it was grayish, but I fixed it with the darker oxide, and I fixed the pot with the crayons, so now it's nice terracotta shade. With the mice in the balloon, I stamped my sentiment really not straight at all. That's why you could see me using the stamping platform for sentiment for mice, because lesson was learned. So actually mice in the balloon is 2-layer card. Except of that, I'm really happy with my 1-layer card experiment. I don't know if I will reach for that so often, because I prefer more dimensional cards. But anyway, I had fun and I tried something new. I hope you had fun as well, and I wish you a nice and creative day, and see you next time. Bye!